files go immediately from your camera's compact flash card upstairs to the IT department. They get duplicated so that you've got a backup copy. Then, how do you proof those images?
What will happen is sales will then get the invoice from the day. It takes about a week. We'll allow ourselves a week to get all the editing done. We edit the images down to the best 12 to 14 images in that range. And then the clients will come in, see the slideshow.
That when you deliver physical proof prints to a mom with a baby, they're getting phaser proofs.
Correct. We're going to give them a phaser proof. We want actually something that's not duplicatable. We want something that's good enough for them to see, but not really good enough to scan and steal.
Right.
And we also, on our quick proofs, it puts a copyright on it, and I don't think we have any problems with anybody trying to copy our proofs.
Right on. And they still look good enough to show how terrific your work is.
Absolutely.
And we've stated already before, you don't want your folks spending 2 weeks in Photoshop or a RAW processor trying to fix color and exposure and contrast issues. It doesn't look like you really have any problems when it comes to all that. How do you credit your success to having a really tight workflow for high volume?
Really, I look at what is the easiest way to get the work through, and the most efficient way, from the shooting all the way down to the actual delivering of the print. We want to streamline, and we're constantly changing it, tweaking it, trying to make it a little bit better. That's why I'll ask the Photoshop guy, hey, what can we do better to make your job easier? And then we'll tweak our lighting. So in fact, lately we upped our background light on our high key up about a half a stop, quarter stop, just to add a little bit more time, less time for him to do work in Photoshop.
So when a mom comes in, she's got the proofs, she brings them back in, she says, these are wonderful, I would like to have an 8x10 of this, and an 8x10 of this, and a bunch of wallets of this. You're going to print all that here on your inkjet system. What's the turnaround time there?
It's usually about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. It depends on the time of the year. We always tell them longer than we actually need, so then that way when it's delivered early, they're happier. But we can always ask them, is there a certain time that you need it by? Because we can flip those things around very, very quickly since we're all in-house.
Do you charge extra if they say Uncle George is coming in next Thursday?
Usually not.
No, you try not to.
Try not to.
Yeah.
Pretty much try to keep them happy and try to kick it around as fast as we can for them.
Tell me about wedding albums. You produce some lovely wedding albums. Do you print the wedding album pages inkjet in-house here too?
We print some of them in-house. We have 4 different albums. We have a Jurgensen album that we do print in-house. We have a White Glove album that we print in-house. There is a Levi album that we do send out to Japan, and they do their thing there, so we send them the files there. And the 4th one is a digital album. It's an Art Leather album.
Art Leather.
Yeah, and yeah, very few people buy that anymore, but we still have the Art Leather album.
Yeah, it's not popular with your customer?
It's more the digital and the Levi album. Those probably are our 2 most popular albums, and then the Jurgensen.
So your customer wants a more modern look.
Absolutely.
Yeah, borderless. When it comes to the layout of the panels of your wedding albums, do you do it by hand? Do you use templates? Do you let somebody else do it? How do you lay them out?
How we lay them out is I have a guy in-house that does all the, and he uses Photo Junction, and then he'll bring it into Photoshop and he'll tweak it there, and I do none of that.
Do you let the brides choose which images are going to go into their albums first, or do you just allow your Photoshop person to choose the right pictures and then allow the brides later to change if they want to?
We have the bride and groom go ahead and select their images that they want. Then from there we'll go ahead and do the color balance and design the album from there. And then they have a chance to see it before we actually print it to the album. So they can make any changes. And,
they see it electronically?
Yeah. No, they'll actually sit it on a phaser.
On the phaser. Wow, that's nice. Do you allow them to take them back home with them? And
yep, absolutely.
Yeah, mark on them whatever they need to do?
Mark on them, and so we want them to be happy with their album. So if they want one picture smaller in black and white, we'll make one change for them at no charge.
So start to finish, from April 1st, you shoot that wedding. What's the typical time you're going to deliver that finished book?
A lot of it depends on when they give us approval for the album.
Which could be a year,
that
right?
Could be.
Yeah.
So that's the hard part, but we try to get it all done within 3 months.
Okay.
So that's our goal is
That's
after 3
quick.
months we
How-
try to
how do you
get
do
it all
it?
that way. Well, we print everything in-house, so we're
Okay.
able to kick things out with the Jurgensen. It prints out the full sheet
Mm-hmm.
and it plots the pictures down, and we just take the whole sheet and slide it underneath the mat.
Well, how do you get brides and mother of brides to make decisions inside of 90 days? That's pretty impressive. How do you do it?
It's going to cost them more if they go longer than 90
Oh,
days.
so if you get your decisions made inside of 90 days, you get a little discount.
Discount, absolutely.
Oh, that's always the best way to go, isn't it? Most of your proofing done on the phaser system.
Yes.
However, you have a beautiful projection room here. When do you use that?
We'll use it if the customer is interested in a wall-sized portrait. If they're interested in a wall-sized portrait, then we'll go ahead and project. We also use this projection room for weddings. So when we have a wedding inquiry, first thing they're going to do is sit down and they're going to see an incredible DVD of wedding images, so we get them emotionally involved first thing.
And wedding customers love that, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
They love that.